guys, it's Sarah, and today we are going to do my October book haul revisit. So I'm going to show you all the books I bought in October of 2017, what I bought, what I received, all that good stuff. I will let you know what the status is of them. Have I read them? Have I unhauled them? Do I still have them to read? Are they still on my TBR? Am I very excited to read them still? And then at the end, I will pick one to put on my TBR for 2018. That list is not going very well. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to all the books that I am picking from these videos. So we're going to see. We're just going to have to see how it goes for the rest of the year. But I don't know. I still have them set aside. So they're still options. We're going to have to see. But I'm still going to pick one. Get through this quickly? Yeah, hope you have some coffee or something or a snack or something. All right. So first one is 1984 by George Orwell. I have not read this yet. I obviously still have it. I picked it up at Goodwill. This is on the Great American Reads list, so it is on my Great American Reads bookshelf in my bedroom, and I do plan to get to it at some point. I just haven't done it yet. The next one that I picked up is another Goodwill, and that is A Lineage of Grace. This is by Francine Rivers, and it's 5 stories of unlikely women who changed eternity. So these are 5 women from the Bible and kind of how their decisions in their lives made a big difference back then and how we are today as well. So I haven't read it, but it's on my shelf, on my Francine Rivers shelf. I have 3 books by her now, and yeah, at some point I do definitely want to get to this one. All right, so the next one that I have is The Truth About the Harry Kubert Affair by Joel Dicker, and this one I got at a library sale, and this is kind of in the same veins as, it's kind of like a Nordic thriller, I guess is what they're called, basically. It is a European author, and it's a thriller kind of in the same line as maybe Joe Nesbo and Stieg Larsson, who wrote the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series, which I loved. And yeah, so this is kind of in the same wheelhouse as that, so I thought I'd pick it up and give it a try. Still haven't read it. Another one that I picked up at the library is By Permission of Heaven, and this is by Adrian Tenniswood. This is the true story of the Great Fire of London. And this one is really piquing my interest right now because I am in school getting a master's degree in library and information sciences, and I'm taking a class right now called The History of Libraries, and this was actually mentioned quite a bit, the Great Fire of London and how it burned down, you know, most of London, including libraries, and what kind of impact that had on it. And it was mentioned in my reading one week, and I was like, oh, I have a book about that. So I thought that was pretty cool. So this kind of was a little bit in the forefront of my mind lately. The next one that I have, I got from a friend of mine, and that is A Dog's Purpose by W. Bruce Cameron. Haven't read it yet. I'm not ready. I thought maybe I was starting to get ready, and then Annabelle got sick and passed away. So nope, not yet. Not yet. Nope, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to read about dogs dying yet. At some point I will be. I do have this one and another one by him too that I definitely want to read. Eventually I'll be able to get there, but emotionally still, I don't think I could handle it without, you know, just crying my way through it and having to put it down. So when I feel a little bit more ready for that, I will definitely be picking this up. The next book that I hauled is Sisterland by Curtis Settenfield, and this one I actually do not own anymore. I had gotten it at the dollar store, I think, and I had looked up some reviews on Goodreads, and they were not very good. And I did try the first chapter of it in a try chapter tag, and I wasn't super blown away by it, so I have gone ahead and unhauled that one. The next one that I got is one I received from the publisher, and that is Lucky Boy by Shanthi Sakaran. Yeah, Sakaran. I have not read this yet. I did receive it for a review. I got the paperback edition when it came out in paperback, and I just haven't read it yet. I'm on the fence on whether or not I really want to. If you've read this, let me know if it's worth a read or not. I am actually probably going to go through some of the review books I've gotten that I haven't gotten to yet and kind of do more research and see what people are saying since they've been released and maybe unwholesome. I'm not sure. I'm kind of thinking that right now, at least the ones that I am not super interested in anymore. And this kind of falls under that. The next one I have is a pre-order, and that is Wonder Woman by Leigh Bardugo. Have I read this yet? Nope. Did Layla pick this for me to read one month? Yep. And I didn't read it. I didn't read either one that my girls picked for me that month, and I feel really bad about it because they were so excited to pick books for me, and then I didn't even read them. Oh, that was a big fail. But I did at least start it. I did get a couple chapters in, and what I read I did enjoy, and I don't know why I put it down. Something happened where I put it down and I just never picked it back up. But yeah, I'm going to have to remedy that soon. The next one I have here is Lord of the Flies. This is by William Golding, and this was a really cool edition that I really, really liked, and I got it on Amazon. And I still have not read this one yet either, but I really want to. I've read a few books that are inspired by this, and I really enjoyed them, and I thought I really just need to read the source material, and I've just heard amazing things about it. It's definitely kind of the ultimate survival story, and yeah, I would like to read it. Now we're going to get into a few Stephen King books. This was when I was still collecting Stephen King. And the first one is Gerald's Game. I have not read this yet, but I do have this on my list to read this year in 2018. So it will happen sometime before the end of the year. Just haven't gotten there quite yet. Another Stephen King that I picked up is The Long Walk. And this one I really want to read because I've heard amazing things about this one. And it's actually one of his shorter ones, which is interesting, and he wrote this under Richard Bachman. But yeah, I've heard really, really amazing things about this book. I've heard a lot of people talking about it lately and really enjoying it, so I'm really excited for this one. The next one is Thinner, and this is another one written under Richard Bachman by him. And I haven't read this one yet. I'm pretty sure this has something to do, I don't know if it's an eating disorder thing or if it's like people being starved on purpose or something. I'm not sure. It's probably going to be weird because it's him. Another shorter one, but yeah. And hey, guess what? Another Stephen King I haven't read yet. Under the Dome. This one is not short. This one is not a short book at all. It is incredibly heavy. It is huge. Still super excited to read it at some point. At some point I will, for sure. This is one I'm definitely going to want to read and watch the show that this was based on. It was a TV show for a little while. Yeah, but just haven't read it yet, but I have it. And another one that I have here is Perfect Days by Rafael Montes. This is actually a pretty short book, and this one is about a man who is stalking a woman. I believe he's completely obsessed with her, and I believe he actually kidnaps her and holds her captive, but to him it's like his perfect fantasy, and she's like, dude, you're kidnapping me, like this is not okay. This has been a little bit compared to You by Caroline Kepnes, which is one of my top 10 favorite books of all time. So that makes me definitely interested in reading it. I'm not going to go into this expecting it to be as good as You. I don't think it's going to be, but I think it's going to kind of give me the same type of vibes as that. And I'm still definitely really interested in reading this. I've heard very good things about it from a few people who have read it. So I'm just not going to go into it thinking I'm going to enjoy it as much. I'm not going to set the bar that high for myself. But yeah, so I'm excited. The next 3 books is a trilogy that I bought 1 month. Apparently I bought an entire trilogy in 1 month. That is the Kiss of Deception trilogy. What are these called? The Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. First one is The Kiss of Deception. Second one is The Heart of Betrayal. And the third one is The Beauty of Darkness. And I bought all of these in 1 month because I've just heard incredibly amazing things about this. It is a young adult fantasy book, and it is about a princess who is betrothed to somebody, and she does not want to get married. It's like an arranged marriage type thing. She does not want to get married to this person. She doesn't know him. She doesn't want any part of that. She wants to marry for love. Her father will not allow that in his kingdom, so she runs away. And because she runs away, the kingdom hires an assassin to bring her back. But he's an assassin, so it may be like bring her back dead or alive type thing. And these 2 men end up going after her. One is the assassin and one is the prince who she was supposed to marry. And throughout the first book, you don't know who is who. You're getting the perspectives from all these people, but you don't know who's the assassin and who's the prince that she was supposed to marry. So I'm very excited about this. I've heard such incredible things about it. People are still, picking this up for the first time and talking about how much they love it and giving it 5 stars. And I'm like, ooh, I need to get to these. I have all 3. I'm ready. I'm SpongeBob ready, but I just haven't picked them up yet. The next one I have is actually the second book in a series, and I have the first and third book already, and then I bought this one to kind of finish out the trilogy, and that is The Crown of Embers by Ray Carson. This is book number 2 in the Girl of Fire and Thorns trilogy. Again, another trilogy I have, and I have not read yet. And then I also picked up 3 Dark Crowns by Kendara Blake, and have not read this yet either. Nope. Haven't read this one. I really want to. It's another young adult fantasy about triplets who are born into a kingdom and they end up having to fight to the death to take over the throne. Whichever one is left standing takes over. And very interested in this. Heard amazing things about the entire trilogy. I think the third book is either out already or it's coming out very soon. I think it's out already. And I haven't even read the first one yet. So, story of my life. Let's talk about a book I have read. Can we talk about a book I have read? Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I have read this one because I can't shut up about it. So you guys have heard about it. You know how much I love this book. This is so far probably my favorite book of the year. There's a couple that I'm going to have to really they're going to have to fight it out and we're going to see which one comes out on top. But this one has a very big possibility of being my favorite book of the year. And I loved this book. It was gruesome. It was crazy. I wasn't expecting any of that. This was my first Karen Slaughter. I am now fully on the Karen Slaughter train. And yeah, I have not been able to shut up about it. The next book was a book that was actually sent to me by one of my subscribers, and it was so sweet, and that is The Vanishing by Wendy Webb. This is also on my birthday reading project, and I have read this book. I actually read it last month, I believe, and I really enjoyed this one. I ended up listening to it on audiobook because I had heard that the audiobook was good too, and it was. So I kind of went a little bit back and forth. I read a little bit, and then I would listen to some, and sometimes I listened while I read as well, so it was a pretty cool experience. But this is definitely a gothic ghost story. And I enjoyed it. It was good. I think I ended up giving it 3 stars. It didn't completely blow me away, but I did really enjoy the characters and I thought it was really original. The next one I found at Goodwill, and that is Before the Fall by Noah Hawley. And I think this follows a plane crash and kind of what happens after all of that, like people surviving and stuff. So, yep, I haven't read it yet. Another Goodwill find for me was The 19th Wife. This is by David Ebershoff, and this, I believe, follows kind of a cult situation where there is multiple wives, and it's like a religious cult type thing, but not okay, polygamy, all that stuff, and about one of the wives who I think either escapes or she escapes and then tries to take down the leader, so something like that, but I'm definitely interested in this one. Another book that I read is Without Merit by Colleen Hoover. I read this pretty quickly after it came out. Colleen Hoover is one of my favorite authors. I will purchase and read everything that this woman writes. I don't care what it is. For me, she has not steered me wrong yet, and I've just loved every single thing that she's written, including this one. And yeah, I loved it. Another book that I ended up pre-ordering is Origin by Dan Brown. This is the fifth book. I had to double check. This is the 5th book in the Robert Langdon series. Not a lot of us knew this was coming. It kind of came out of nowhere, or it was announced, publicly only a few months before it was published. And we were all like, wait, what? Another Robert Langdon? We kind of thought it was done, but it's not. And I pre-ordered it. And again, it's sitting here unread. So this may be on my 2019 TBR for sure, just because I've read all the other ones and then I have the new one and I haven't read it yet. And the last one, whew, we made it to the end, guys. The last one, is Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban, the illustrated edition. I have read this. I have read this edition. I am reading these with my daughter, Kaylin, who is 10, and we are listening to the audiobook while we read the illustrated editions as well. So that's been a lot of fun. The illustrations in here are just gorgeous. They are beautiful. I will show you one or two here. And, see, I opened it right there. Oh my gosh. There we go. There's Hermione. They just add so much to the story. Like, not that you need to add anything to Harry Potter. I mean, it's pretty amazing on its own, but they really do just add so much. And we've really been enjoying, listening to them. We're listening to the ones read by Jim Dale, which have been amazing. And then, that's one of the chapter headers there. Just so beautiful and really creative and gorgeous. These are illustrated by Jim Kay. I do not know when the 4th one's supposed to come out. All the first 3 had come out in Octobers of the past few years, and there hasn't even been a pre-order available for the 4th one yet. So I don't know when that's happening. I'm wondering if it's because now we're into the really, really big books that they need longer to create them and print them and do all that stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Because book number 4 is when they start getting to be this big. So we're patiently waiting, kind of, but also Kaylin's kind of like, well, we can just read from yours, Mom. I'm like, yeah, we can. Yes, we can. We don't have to wait for the illustrated. We could just read them. So we'll see. But yeah, so have read this one. Okay, guys, that is it. That is all the books that I hauled for the month of October for last year. And now I got to pick one to put on my TBR for this year. So I have a lot to choose from. This might take me a few minutes. Okay, so the book that I'm going to put on my TBR for the rest of this year for this project, I'm going to do Wonder Woman because I've already technically started it. I'm going to go back and read the first couple chapters again for sure. But, you know, my daughter Layla picked this for me to read. I think back in April, I had both girls pick a book for me and I didn't read either one of them. And I feel really bad about that. So I really feel like those two books I should make sure that I read at least sometime this year. So I'm going to go ahead and put Wonder Woman on my TBR. Okay, guys, that's it for me today. Let me know down below if you guys have read any of these books and which ones I should move up on my TBR here coming up soon, and maybe kind of give a second look at and see if I should read sooner rather than later. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.